Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining my DIY Austin Teardrop tutorial. The first step is you want to make sure you have all of your materials laid out. You're going to pick up your 20 gauge wire, which is your thicker wire and will actually be your earring base, and your flat nose pliers, and grip it about a pinky width distance in, so you can measure it with your pinky. And you're going to bend it at a 45-degree angle. And you're going to do the same with your other earring, pinky width in, bending at a 45-degree angle. Now that you have your earring hook, you're going to be shaping it into a teardrop. So because this is 20 gauge half hard material, you should be able to shape it with your hands. So this is going to take the most amount of time. It's really just shaping it and making sure that it looks like a teardrop. So I would recommend that you spend the most amount of time actually shaping it. Don't press the material too hard because then that can warp it. But you should be able to just shape it with your hands. You can use your flat nose pliers, and anywhere that has a weird bend or a weird morph, you can press it and it will actually straighten it. When shaping it, you want to make sure that the other end of the earring actually lines up with the bend that you previously did. That will just make sure that you have the full teardrop shape that you're looking for. And then again, you can take your flat nose pliers and actually straighten the areas that got bent or morphed to create a teardrop shape. So that's the first one done. I'm going to pick up the second pair and do the same process again. Now that we have both teardrops, you want to pick them up and make sure that they're the same shape. So you can put them on the end of your finger so they align, and you'll just want to reshape using your fingers and your flat nose pliers just to make sure they align. Now we're going to create the earring hook that once you feed it through your ear, it will actually hook in place. So you're going to take your flat nose pliers and you're going to bend it about half of the size of the first bend that you did. So you bend it at a 90-degree angle. You're going to bend it in. You're just going to reshape just to make sure that once you bent it, it didn't warp the earring shape. After bending the other earring as well, you're going to be picking up your round nose pliers and you're going to be making the hook that the earring actually hooks into. So you're going to grab the side that you just bent inwards with your round nose pliers, and you're actually going to be bending the earring around the round nose pliers. You're just going to push it so it wraps around and it creates a loop. So after you push it, it might be warped a little bit, so you can take your flat nose pliers and you can straighten it out a little bit so it's horizontal. Once you've made the loop, make sure to do the same process for the other earring as well. Your teardrop should now hook together in the back, and once you've hooked it, you just want to reshape it again. So this is the longest process as mentioned. You just want to make sure that your earring is shaped like a teardrop. So whether you want to take your flat nose pliers, use your hands just to make sure it's reshaped, it should look like a teardrop that also connects in the back. Now that we have the teardrop shape, we're going to be beading our earrings using our 26 gauge wire, which is our thinner wire. So you want to straighten it out, which should be really easy because it's very thin, and you're going to weave it through the bottom of your teardrop. So you can open it, and you're going to be weaving it through the front side of your earring. Now take your thinner wire and you're going to bend it upwards over the earring. So you can pick it up and it will almost look like a J or a hook. And you want to make sure the shorter side of the wire is facing up. And you're going to loop it around once and then one more time. So it hooks onto the earring. So you want to make sure again that the shorter end of the wire is facing up, and you're going to take your wire cutters and cut off that extra piece of wire. You'll want to take your flat nose pliers and push the wire together, just because as you were wrapping, you probably wrapped it a little bit spaced out. And then you'll want to use your flat nose plier and also squeeze that little piece that you cut off. It might be sticking out, so it might be a little sharp. So you can use your flat nose pliers to close it around the wire. And then do the same thing for your other earring. Now pick up one of your wrapped earrings, and you're going to pick up one of your beads and feed it through the top to begin the wire wrapping process. So feed it all the way through to the end, and you want to make sure the wire is adjusted to the middle part of the front earring. So as you're wrapping, you want to make sure that you're holding the earring and the bead just so it stays in place. While you're holding the earring and the bead in one hand, you can use the other hand to start wrapping the wire around the earring. So you're going to wrap it under, hold your earring and your bead, and then wrap it around. You're going to wrap it around 2 more times. So over, under, wrap it around once more. And once you're finished, the wire will be facing outward. And now you're going to wrap all of your beads the same way until you have 8 beads on one of your earrings. Once you finish wrapping your beads, you're taking your wire cutters and you're going to cut the long end, and then you're going to take your flat nose pliers and you're going to just close that little piece that's hanging out. You can also adjust the beads to make them more spaced out or more close together, depending on the way you want your earrings to look. I also recommend that you take your flat nose pliers and you squeeze the wire in between the beads. This last little step will make it look so much better. Repeat the same wire wrapping technique for your other earring, and once done, you just want to line them up again just to make sure that the beads line up and they're spaced out correctly on each side. And then your earrings will be done. Thank you guys so much for watching my do-it-yourself earring tutorial. I hope you enjoy your new jewelry.